two people are not as experienced, though. Definitely not as bad, I would say, especially AstatineEffect, who in the most recent tournament for the Twinlight Zone made it all the way to the grand finals, where unfortunately he lost to another quarterfinalist, not in this stream, but in this Summer Cup, Firelord Ethan. And when we're gonna remind the we've also really watched the game, we're gonna remind for the draft really quickly, whilst we talk about the players. Not OP Rise versus Terrace, it's X whilst I change them. Then can you talk about the players? How much do you know about them?
Yeah, I don't know as much about them. So what I've watched them both play. I have not cast Hoffnung before, and so normally I will know the most about a player, like everybody else, if I have played against them or if I've cast them, right? Because I do tend to do a lot of prep versus the players that I play against. I watch a lot of their games. It's also just fun. I just enjoy straight up. I enjoy prepping for matches. I actually enjoy prepping for matches way more than I enjoy the hour before a match and the hour during a match, and then often the hour after the match after I lose and obsess over it. But I actually quite enjoy trying to figure out what a player is like. So I don't think I've played Hoffnung or Astatine before. Otherwise, I'd have like a little research file on them and all that kind of stuff. I have cast Asta before, and really just loved to see the recent spike in capacity that they've had. I think I would venture to guess that is pretty apparent that they have leveled up their game in the last year or so in particular, have been around the community for a while, but really have started to stand out and really just kind of found their niche a little bit, taking a little bit more risks and like having a nice solid game plan for them. Hoff has also leveled up in the community. So that's what I know about Hoff is seeing them in the community talking about I would say etiquette, let's say, just broadly, etiquette and pathing, and they've started becoming one of those players that has learned a lot about some of the details and minutia of the game. So I think this is a really particularly interesting matchup because I don't think that their skills overlap, like where they have focused a lot of their attention. Of course, just in general, across the whole community, pathing knowledge and etiquette knowledge has gone way up in the last year. I'm going to credit a lot of that towards Fireload Ethan's excellent resources, and just the fact that it's become more important to the meta. So there is, of course, that general knowledge increase, but even with the knowledge, there's like intuitions about playing around it so much. So, anyways, long story short, what I expect is that Hoff has been playing enough with the diving into pathing and etiquette to have a better intuition about it. And Asta has been really leveling up, from what I've seen, their strategic level. So again, really cool matchup. Yeah, both players. What they have in common is that they have gotten a lot better in like the last year. Like they've again leveled up their skill recently. So this is a really cool matchup to see of people that have been around for a while and improved a lot.
If
Hopefully
I
that's right. I could be wrong, and like maybe one of them made a break, like in the last few years, to like get really far in a tournament, and I missed it. But I think that that's right.
they haven't participated much in like past few years. Haven't participated in super many tournaments. I would say they're relatively newer. And if I had to describe both of these as players in a quick summary, Asatine is a very aggressive player, especially on the spy side. But he's more of a reserved aggression. If I have to draw a parallel, for example, Guggy is a chaotic evil person on spy. He will do anything and everything, and seemingly sometimes at random. If I may critique, AstatineEffect is still aggressive, but he is a bit more calculated in his aggression, at least on the spy side. Whilst on the sniper, he does watch pathing, but he's not the most pathing sniper. He's very good at his, as you noted out earlier. So I think that's where he will excel. And whilst Hoffnung, he is more of a reserved player on the spy side. He's still strong, definitely, but still a little bit less reserved and less aggressive, especially compared to Astatine. And still, I would say by the book sniper. It's not something crazy. It's not something extraordinary, but it's definitely solid. So I'm wondering how these two, while the different players are going to. But we've done enough rambling. It's time to get into the first replays. AstatineEffect versus Hoffnung, and AstatineEffect on the Spy playing as Duke and Aquarium in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And this is a great way to see, like, starting with Aquarium is always really interesting. It happens kind of often because there's the I forget which tournament it is, but there's a tournament that goes alphabetical order with the maps. So Aqua has been an opener in that, and then it, of course, just happens to be opener sometimes when people do their doubles and stuff, right? So because doubles are often the first venues that people play on, and Aqua is often a pick, like an intentional first double pick. Aqua just opens up a lot of matches. So I've kind of enjoyed seeing how people approach to it. Because the other thing with Aqua is I feel like it tells you a lot about where the player is going to go with the rest of their set. Because there's so much available to both the spy and the sniper in their responsiveness to the situation. It's a great map. I'm actually terrible at it, but I love seeing it. And again, just super interested to see where we go with it. For now, it's just a flirt so far.
And Hoffnung on the Spy is a sniper rather, is taking some pathing lowlights, as I mentioned, already 3 on this Aquarium. And we're AstatineEffect is gonna be 85% flirt up and with a partial fingerprint. We may go to the bar to grab a second one as Ambassador leaves it, but not the case. Maybe we don't want to. Ambassador doesn't even take a drink, so that opportunity just is not there yet.
Yeah, and to the point that you're making earlier about here's interesting. Do we wait until? Oh no, okay. I think we wanted to. Interesting that we got the highlight on that. We might just be hiding for bar. I wasn't sure if we were going to wait until Ambassador took a drink as they're approaching there, and then request after. This is an interesting move here. I don't immediately see and intuit what we're going for with this. Do you know why we did this reject reposition, except to try to maybe do something or something else in the future?
Maybe I think maybe Astatine expects that Hoffnung is a bit more of a behavioral player. Maybe he says, "Oh, I'll draw less suspicion that way." But as you can see, the highlight thus far sticks for us, and we just wasted quite a lot of time with that. Oh, and unfortunately, the seduction target leaves for us. AstatineEffect, not a lot of options left, even though we still have a minute 20 left.
Yeah, we do have bottom shark, so we could do a send here during this during the shark. We are going to send to boots here. I do think that we probably be on top of who the options are for the send, but it is still going to be ostensibly behind shark. So Hoffnung is going to have to be aware of the options here. We do zoom in for sorry on the take here. So we do seem to be putting some attention toward it. We are going to be finishing up Seduce in the front here. I like this timing for it because worst case scenario is if we're being watched, then probably Boots isn't being watched. And if we aren't being watched, well, then we just get this free flirt. Oh, but it expires right before it gets taken. That is going to throw such a wrench in Asta's plans. Oh, that's such a bummer because actually I was very curious how that played out because I think we might have been okay.
But with 25 seconds left, we're definitely less than okay. We either have to take this sprint direct, or we just no. We're gonna go to the delegate. We need still contact. The double agent is in the conversation. We need to contact and immediately fire up his delegates. But there's going to be overtime.
And the end of red.
Contact does come off. We do send Rocker to the bar. There's going to be overtime with no beeping. Oh, and we didn't shoot. We had no reason to shoot yet. We're in just no overtime.
We take a shot.
No overtime beeps. Hoffnung, no, unfortunate. I think we just thought initially that Rocker was going to do a bug since she was walking right beside it, and maybe we expected that she had missions done. And when we didn't see that we won via timeout, we just assumed that Rocker was finished with missions.
Yeah. So I am curious. So we had the shot at just after zero. So what players sometimes do is if they're not sure if it's going to go into overtime, they wait for a beat after zero and then shoot. It's possible that Hoff was trying to shoot after zero so that if there was overtime, they guarantee their shot in because they did. Like, if you look at the thing, they do shoot zero point zero 0.02 seconds after OT would be done, right? So what we might have been trying to hedge against was a shot that would happen after a timeout, but before any lag could come in to cost us too late for sync. So it might be the case that Hoffnung didn't actually think that Rocker was done. He just thought that if there was any overtime, it was Rocker, which actually is not the worst call, right? So it's possible Hoffnung just waited like half a second. Sorry, needed to wait like half a second longer to take that shot.
I think the contact came off at 7.3 seconds before, so maybe he thought that Rocker contact was the fourth mission. So we were just tracking her to see if Rocker was done at all, and if let's just say there was no overtime and we just time out, and if we not rather if we just time out, we wouldn't have shot, but we saw the clock hang at zero for just a tiny second, and we just assumed that Rocker was just finishing the fourth mission with minutia of overtime left, and I think that's what triggered. But in any case, an unfortunate shot for
Yeah.
Hoffnung and a great break for AstatineEffect. Let's see if Hoffnung is able to tie things back up in Aquarium. Playing a Seek in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
And to the point of like Aquarium being a particular type of map, you're gonna see, or sorry, venue. You're gonna see that kind of shot where it's like often the Aquarium out of all the venues is one of the ones where you have the most stress about making sure you shoot someone while you have the chance, because also Rocker was kind of angling towards the middle. I mean, like, of course Shark is kind of gone at the end of the game unless there's been timeouts. Well, actually no, even if there is timeouts, you kind of have a clear shot on everybody at 0 seconds. But people are kind of try to dive
Oh,
behind
here's the bug.
cover on Aquarium, so sometimes there's a little, ooh, no, it doesn't take though. Oh nope, we are dead though. All right, bummer for Hoffnung on that one, and kind of a tough way to start off on Aquarium.
So, quick take a look at quickly this bug. We didn't have any shark cover, and there's a hand sticking right outside in the gap between us and Rocker. That's just that, especially when ambassador's walking by that side, and there's nothing really happening elsewhere in the venue to watch. That's just a very easy check for a sniper. Bit of a, I think, overzealous bug from Hoffnung. And that's just a quick 2-0 for AstatineEffect on Aquarium.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna try leaving Discord and coming back in just to see if it helps because maybe it
Right,
does have a reset. So I'll be
same.
right back.
Just me.
All right, we'll see. I actually might be a little bit quicker now.
Right, let's just see. We're gonna start it off in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Are you still
All
here,
right,
Floppy?
so yes, I am.
Oh,
I'm just
no
trying to get
lag. Okay, so
sweet. All right, there we go. We should have done that from the beginning. That's my bad. I probably should have. It probably was just like Discord. Discord might actually do a thing where they institute like a buffer at the beginning and then like are never like rechecks. So that's a Discord lesson for everybody while we wait for stuff to happen on Terrace, because while ambassadors at statues, nothing's gonna happen.
and most of the time in Terrace, it's only one of two things is going to happen. And that's at least the tendency that I found in the higher level. Okay, 3. A last second bug into a last second bug or a last second send or direct perlite or a frame of such. Either or. There's I don't think there's just a lot of opportunities on this venue on high level play. Not a lot happening on any given time, usually.
We are so focused on Smallman during this. To your point about Asta might have like a reputation for some like really aggressive plays. We're still staring at. I think we are just resting at that point on Smallman, but we've been centering Smallman on our screen quite a bit. We actually decided to low light though. I like that maneuver because I feel like it's like a read on Asta as a player. Like they would have done something or would not be playing like this if they were Smallman trying to get away with stuff.
And another behavioral lowlight onto Irish here. Okay, so it seems as these are not pathing lowlights; these are behavioral lowlights. So I've not seen a lot of those. Not a lot of time. Most of the time, it's either pathing lowlights or just like strict hardtail lowlights. I have not seen the behavioral lowlights in quite a while, especially these many. Banana bread comes out, another couple of lowlights. Narrowed this down quite a bit.
Yeah, the only thing that could happen here, this is something that I have not gotten a good intuition for, is that there were a couple lowlights after someone entered a window pad, and sometimes there's like sliding stuff that they may have been able to see. But I agree. I think that these are behavioral. Ooh, that's actually a great bug.
Oh,
like,
that was almost a bug. And but we're hovering rather Assadine. We're hovering right. We're pointing a laser right into Rocker's ear here. I think she's hearing some. If that took, if they had floored, then that would have been an amazing finish. But yeah, we're highlight here, and with no possibility of finishing, we're just gonna time out. Let's see. Gonna be daring for Sniper to shoot, and Hoffnung is gonna hold his nerve. Seems. I think we just correctly realized that. Yeah, we finish up floored, but yo, I want to take a look at that buck again. That was about almost took. I want to see it from the sniper side.
And what's so funny about that is if that bug had taken, and let's say, but we were like, oh, seduction targets moving around, we couldn't. We got that seduce, by the way, just for fun, at like 0.01 at 0.1 seconds. So if for some reason we were like, oh, we can't finish, we probably wouldn't have done that. We probably wouldn't have tried to get seduction like that, but that would have been such a finish.
Oh, that's so interesting if close to. And I'm looking at this replay from here. That is so close to taking. If we just did it like a half, like not even a half second, or like a tenth a second earlier, that would have been a really nice walking bug here. But unfortunately, just barely out of walking bug range. Just walking bug range, just slightly smaller than the standing bug. Unfortunately, we're just out of it. Maybe a bit of lucky break for Hoffnung, but I think we caught that nonetheless, and we may have potentially shot for that final third. But in any case, let's see if Hoffnung is able to high-bake us up for a second time of asking, playing Red Dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Also, got to point out, we chose Rocker that game, who had just been sib shot. Intentional, maybe. I don't know if Asta plays the specific. Oh, we are AI controlling, by the way. I don't think Asta takes it. Well, I guess this might be something we find out is if we see that is a pretty good little redirect though. If we were gonna low light for something.
As I understand it, AstatineEffect doesn't take many pathing lowlights. Maybe he'll do something if something's really egregious, but he's not a player who's going to be focusing on it. And as you can see, our AI control was not rewarded, and in fact, no the non-cast members are lowlights or anything. So maybe not the plan that we can do in the future.
Yeah, and let's see where seduction target ends up. If they're going to be okay, they're going to be close, but not close enough to finish. We are going to banana bread. I think that we wanted to flirt there. I could be wrong. because now we have to double talk if we have the white. So we're going to wait for this talk animation to finish and then talk immediately again, I presume, right after. I know we're waiting. We're not breaking animation to talk again. And so actually target does leave during that time. But then again, we could try to go for just a 2 flirt instead because it would not have been enough to finish. Our seduction target does get low lit for that conversation change. Not sure what we got low lit for, but we are starting to narrow down the party a little bit in the aftermath of that banana bread.
We're heading into bar. There's gonna be a. We may potentially get a double fingerprint, but White Dress is going to snatch the briefcase before us, so we're gonna have a partial fingerprint from this drink at the bar. Let's. Of course, the question of Terrace is who do you send it, and thus far we would be sending it to Alice. Doesn't much, and would be visible.
Banana bread.
Oh, another contact. Oh, there's so many lowlights. One, two. Alice would be one. Orange Sorry would be one. And we're the only highlight here. We're being watched at for a potential bug here. I think that's we're in a green without a paddle situation, and we don't even hit the green flirt, the white one.
It's send into flirt at bar maybe. It's hard to get a right now. Ambassador's not giving us any fingerprints because we had so many ways out. We could also, but we don't have enough time for inspect right now. There is no purloin coming. We're gonna time out at this point. I don't think we have enough time to flirt and bug. So 2 timeouts on Terrace. Not totally crazy, but kind of just like just get together because we had so except for like even swap, every mission was in play at the end there, right? We had 51 on seduce, so we hit a green, we finished seduce. We could have gone to a statue, finish inspect. We had 1 fingerprint, so 1 more fingerprint, we do it, but nothing was coming out of that. Ambassador maybe you could consider buggable, and then of course if we go in and do an inspect swap, that's 3 missions right there. So we had a lot of flexibility, or sorry, we had a lot of choices. The one thing we didn't have after we picked up that fingerprint at the end up bar there was time. And so we kind of just tried what would be the best play of like if we could get that 2 flirt, then we have so many options about how to finish. But not hitting the 2 flirt takes up time and leaves us with like no options. So a bit unfortunate there. Kind of resulted in a thing where we kind of had to hit that green. Otherwise, we were going to time out or do some kind of awkward rush at the end. But I don't mind how much scattered progress Hoffnung had. We had a lot of options in that game.
Yet again, we're just a little bit low and us. And maybe the most damning thing in that game, just I think it was just the double contacts knocking 6 people at the end there from just being out of conversations when the contacts off, and I think that's what really put a nail into our. We just have to have half of the party low lit and half the other parties not doing. We only have like so much partial progress, and we're the only highlight at the end of that. So I think even if we finish there, we're going to be. But in any case, AstatineEffect still holding on to the lead 3-1. Let's see if they're able to continue their momentum at least, or maybe pull away from here. Starting in no dare in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, we're angling up towards Ambassador and then dip away, thinking better of that positioning, and we are going to just do this early flirt here, and I presume leave kind of quickly because
I would like to leave here as well.
Yeah, and I don't. It doesn't seem like it. I mean, we could try to keep this going though for your 2 flirt. So oftentimes if we hit the green flirt, there's two different like kind of let's say ambitious plays you could do. Leave right away, try to reset, and then just get other stuff done. Or if you stay and you hit that initial green flirt, if you do that 45-second thing, you have the chance to do and banana bread actually comes to us. So this actually might work out really well for us. I don't know how good this banana bread is. That's actually not that bad for what I think was an impulsive banana bread. It could have been a lot worse.
That's a bug.
Oh, that bug though. Okay, I think we're dead.
We're looking at the boots.
I can't imagine. Yeah, we're kind of just keeping monster.
I think we walked around and gave
Yeah.
Ambassador a hug.
So it is possible that. Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say I was waiting for the shot because it's possible that we missed it, but it just seemed like we were looking at the right spot at the right time, regardless. Because like it's an aggressive bug, but it also just didn't. You see so much of that arm. So uh, uh, Asta could not get their way around Red Dress, so that is not the book they wanted. To be very clear, right? If we were able to get around Red Dress, we would have had a path credit right from Hoffnung, and then we would see how that kind of plays out from there. And we could even go to Bookcase and pick up that. Oh, actually, that might not be far enough for Ambassador. But anyways, that's not the bug we wanted. We were forced into the in between, and the arm was very very visible as we swung through there. So yeah, pretty routine shot there, but not a terrible decision from Astatine, just not having quite the execution needed for that bug.
Yeah, it looks like we're just giving Ambassador a hug as we're walking right past him. Unfortunately, even though hugs are a really good thing, hugs with a bug on your hand are not the types that people like, especially snipers. And Hoffnung shoots the spy appropriately for that misdemeanor. But let's see if Hoffnung himself is able to avoid that shot, playing as Alice in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, so Alice here, of course, other than just being fast, is also pretty quick at paths. So it cuts down. It's not a huge amount of time difference, but it cuts down on the amount of time that you spend reading or at statues. If you want to split up some of the missions in here. So I don't think we're gonna do anything at this bookshelf. Although Rocker is kind of blocking us a little bit now. Okay, we are just gonna walk away with the book for now.
Yeah, we're walking away with this book here, and let's see. Maybe we need to put like a hardtail early on. If we cook this book for like 33 minutes later on, 3 minutes rather, we just maybe eventually Assassine will get and we'll get a hardtail. Of course, with a book in hand, we don't have an option to take other books. We don't have an option to go and take a drink. That's one sacrifice that you do, but you may potentially get a hardtail after, like, I don't expect this book to be put back anytime.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. The other thing that we have while we stand around with this book is so there's like sort of like you can imagine like a meter kind of having going on when you have this book is that over time it becomes potentially more difficult. Oh, Ambassador right next to us. We could. Are we gonna? I think we're just gonna let this
We're
go.
being stared at. And Ambassador comes back.
It very tempting. Yeah. Okay, that is actually weird though. That's That's insane. So now we're gonna stare at Ambassador. Unfortunately, here's the thing: is we probably can't get that bug, and we also can't like move. Like we can't go past Ambassador because we're almost certainly gonna get bug credit for that. So we're kind of trapped there for a while. So now we really do have time problems. We are gonna be putting the book back where it came from.
Like this.
So we're really gonna have time problems now.
I really don't like this. I think we held this book for a little bit too long to give up on it. I mean, of course, sometimes you have to do it, but we only have.
The one thing I could say for it though is that if we got some partial, let's say, behavioral low light credit for standing next to bug twice and not taking it and then returning the book back normally, maybe we get a low light, and that's what we do is fishing for a low light. But since that didn't work, I agree with you that we're in kind of a world of hurt here. So it might just have to be something like a purloin frame, like a BB into purloin frame, and see what happens.
I think the problem is even if we assume we have a hollow light here, we're still 3.5 missions in. Rather, we're still 3.5 missions, and that is not easy, especially on modern with the walking distance so big. Even if we have like a relatively fast character in Alice, I don't think that giving up answer was the correct play. Let's see if Hoffnung is able to try to salvage this. It's gonna be delegated, bro. We don't take the correct option.
Yeah, we don't take the direct, which is we were next to double agent with the drink, so obviously, oh, we're gonna be against ambassador again here. We have this time though, before we were in the conversation circle, um, we do get this, or sorry, we I guess we always had the fingerprint option. Are we gonna pick up?
We're
Are we gonna beat
delegating to
Duke to this
Twin.
pickup?
But I don't think we have time. Even if this Purloin does take, you need 20 seconds. This is gonna be a fingerprint. Oh, pending. We still need a bug and one more mission. There's the bug, but AstatineEffect is all over it. Hoffnung is still up 4-2. I think a bit of a poorly paced out game from Hoffnung on the Spy side. Basically forced us to do a bunch of cartels late on in the game. AstatineEffect is just not gonna miss those, especially if you're rushing 2 or 3 of them in a.
Yeah, I would say that so bug was gonna be tough for us because we were near ambassador so much that game that if we didn't take the first bugs at that conversation circle, I think we got to just like stay away from ambassador the rest of the game. Unless there's an insanely great bug opportunity, but forcing a bug opportunity after that probably wasn't a thing. So if we had one more mission done, the purloin into green swap, that actually had some potential there. If we had a flirt done or fingerprint done, and that we just had to do one of those other ones and we weren't forced into the ambassador, there was some interesting play there. It still probably wasn't going to work, but the fact that they're stacked on top of each other can mess up snipers. So there was some potential there, but like you're saying, we were backed into a corner. We're having to do purloin green swap bug all within like 15 seconds is gonna be rough.
Yeah, I think that's decision of not even, I say, attempting. Okay, so the problem is, I think I want to just go back quickly to the book not being put in the opposite color. So, for example, okay, so you don't get any suspicion for potentially getting credit for the transfer, but with that low time, especially in that mid game, without having flirt done, at that point you're just gonna be rushing 3 hardtails, and you're gonna 99% of the time you're gonna get shot anyways. I think we just delayed our shot by a couple of minutes. But we're out of modern, 4-2 Assetine up. Let's see, and now we're on to Veranda, and thus far the most sniper controlled venue. I would say 5 out of 8. Not an easy task. Let's see if AstatineEffect is up to it. Playing as Irish in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I do think of these players, I think they'll make the kinds of. Okay, so this has got to be a book rip based on the position we have. It is indeed.
Oh, and the laser was not even seen. They've never seen us in that stuff. The laser at the start was focused on the ambassador entirely, and the left side, from our point of view, side was completely missed. So that's just a free transfer for Assetine. And there's that aggression, the calculated aggression that I was talking about. And we're able to see immediately that sniper was on that side. Ambassador was also on that side, but we couldn't see exactly with his position, but I'd imagine that the sniper must take a look at it to see if they are in danger, and we'll just be able to take that book away and rip it. We're playing a Veranda 4 out of 8 at this point.
That was an interesting little redirect there, because it looked like we were going for a timer for cross conversation circle, which, actually we got a flirt right now. Okay, so we are lucky seduction target doesn't decide to bail on us after taking the drink. But at first it looked like we were going to do a cross conversation flirt and wait, but instead what we do is we do a walk away redirect back next to seduction target so we could get some more of that done, which I like a lot better than us trying to just stick around for a long time. It does mean we have drink in hand, so our options are a little bit more limited for a bit, and it looks like we are going to wait this out, which is interesting, given that.
Oh, there's the bug.
That's actually a pretty nice bug. Look at the angle on it. Hoffnung, that's excellent shot. Because honestly, we had to anticipate that goodness, and It was so okay. So for people that are coming in, every once in a while, if you haven't seen a lot of Spy Party, you might think that in the typical kinds of maps, you kind of threw like Aston threw away that game by getting that transfer off into bug. But it's always true that you kind of need two breaks as Spy to win Veranda. So that's a bummer that for Astatine that they got shot there, but it's not like they threw away a completely, absolutely just like winnable game. All they had to do was play straightforward and then just get it out. They had to do one more thing. So I don't mind the attempt there, but Hoffnung was excellently in place ahead of time to make sure they caught it.
Quickly back to the replay of this. Yeah, we just we're basically never really side. Just a good opportunity for us. Fortunately, didn't pan out, and Hoffnung again within breathing distance, AstatineEffect, but still needs to find that spy win. And Veranda is definitely able to do it on Veranda, playing to it. 3 playing it.
Yeah, it is. It is too bad because like that really was going to be an interesting test of Hoff if we were able to push that into like let's say fingerprint seduce contact and then probably a different bug. So honestly, actually, if we hit that bug, it probably was going to be like uh, uh, let's see, probably that statues, and then just normal contact with all that kind of credit. So that was really the moment, probably that Hoffman had to catch. Otherwise, they'd have to take a really aggressive shot on something else. So I do like I like the play, pushing the aggression, like the aggression of your game early, and then just playing straightforward on the rest of the game where you have plenty of time and you don't have to do anything. Get the snipers expecting the pressure to be ramping up on Spy. Is a good way to approach Veranda, even though again, you gotta take a couple risks there at the beginning.
Also, I don't mind getting this highlight early. I don't know if you agree with this, as we can idle out in highlight the strength of the highlight given delineate or diminishes within time. So for example, the first highlight, unless they do something really crazy most of the game, that strength of that highlight on that person diminishes over time. So a highlight in the, if you put someone in the highlight 30 seconds in, it is you tend to suspect that person more as opposed to someone who been highlight for 3 minutes, especially at the very start of the game.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic. Actually, I don't think that it could make an interesting kind of like research project almost. I think that the way in which it weakens over time is if you can't tell a compelling story about that same highlight over time. Like it's not grabbing your attention for stuff. So the way in which an early highlight is still worse is if it allows you to see things you wouldn't have picked on otherwise. So things like chasing seduction target or going for a difficult fingerprint that's kind of like under
Banana bread.
behind cover or something like that. So it makes you less if you're able to just like not do something that the sniper's like returning to you and updating their
I have to
information on
interrupt.
your
There's a white
dossier. So
purloin. Now it
it's
seems.
blocked, but we're probably dead. Okay, so we don't know. I don't know how many rejects there were before that. So obviously not a great sign that we caught that really quickly. But we only have 2 missions left to do if we're able to get this. Like, let's say that we get this flirt off clean.
But we're down to 4 people, so I presume that's the chain, or if it's not the chain, what the sniper thinks is the chain, and sometimes that is more important than what's actually real. But yeah, we still need to finish flirts. Potentially only one will do the trick. But no, instead we're gonna grab a far flirt. Maybe we just think that having a very close flirt after a white would be it would take would be enough for the sniper to shoot. Sometimes the case, but we're chasing a precision.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. So, one, we'll see if Astatine is going to be crediting these positionings for flirt finishes. Um, it kind of depends on what the sniper considers to be suspicious, if that looks like a chase or not. We do interrupt our seduction target, which might make us lean in one way or another because it looks like we're kind of like rushing to make sure we get done with that. But this is actually an interesting position. I'm feeling like a 25% chance of a spy win, which honestly, if your purloin, if your white purloin is like caught where you are definitely the last person that took it, you're not sure if it's a white or a green. Usually that percentage is really low about whether or not you get a win. But actually, this is like a decent opportunity. We can't do transfer. We probably can't do swap. Okay, we are going to try to do swap though. I mean, if I guess we completely miss swap, then that's
Yeah,
our
there's the
opportunity
white
here.
swap. We're
But
not rotating for it. We are
we're
not
not.
looking
We're
for it.
not.
We're not looking for it. We just assumed that the we're just not looking for it. And the Hoffnung gets away with, I want to say, murder. Ty's thing is up 4 I'm
Absolutely
so
gets away with murder.
shocked that we didn't rotate.
Like, yeah, no, absolutely. Because so also partial like reverse caster's curse, caster's bless, so to speak, of saying that I was like, okay, swap's off the table, right? Like it doesn't seem like swap's a viable option given that we just purloined, right? But it is true that it is one of the things where you force a decision on behalf of the sniper. So I'm happy to be proven wrong by Hoffnung there. Swap was absolutely the correct one. Because like it looked like Bug was being guarded more strongly than any of the other ones. So he found the right weakness. I am surprised because we must have been suspecting the other three highlights much more. But that is the kind of thing that would happen at like 10 seconds left. Is a dodge out to swap or to statues.
But I mean, if it works, it works. But I'm wondering what AstatineEffect is guarding here, since all of this other highlights are just standing on conversations nowhere near mission. Only us that are potentially in a mission. Master self in a corner. We're the closest one able to bug to, and we don't even rotate. I think that swap escaped our minds. Really, that's all that I could explain it. And assumed either we did have a very early inspect here, so maybe we just assumed credit that one has already had a swap at 4:32 at the very beginning of the game, and we play like, okay, that I didn't see Apache there, so that's probably I'm gonna credit him a swap. So at the last seconds of the game, we just didn't look because we just had that swap already, but didn't. And Hoffnung ties things up with 5 on the Veranda, something you don't see too often this high up. But out of what this looks out of, then you've gone to the next one. It is high rise 4 out of 8, and AstatineEffect maybe. But let's see if he's third. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Not
And of
the
course, this is a very different kind of high rise in that like the amount of stuff we got to do.
different types of stuff to do, but we still need to do parts. 34% for the first. They may be on the faster variants of a problem, and but they this especially in this venue setup not a big problem. Terrace is usually playing cards.
Yeah, and so you're right also about the amount of time, because one of the things that high rise has is there's like bugs. It's one of the it's like, there's a few maps like this where every once in a while there's just like a few bugs handed out that like you can't possibly tell. Like the ambassador passed by, there was a reverse opportunity, and you're like, I could not get a look at it, I could not guard it, and now I have to kind of presume a bug. But then it's like, how do snipers adapt to the fact that there might be a few more of those, given that there's extra time, but that they have to do extra missions? So, gonna be interesting. I don't know how much either of these players have decided to play 4 of 8 because it fell out of favor like 5 years ago or something like that for a variety of different ones. So, very interested.
4 out of 8 high rise has been on the, I would say, it's definitely not the standard one, but in tournaments it has been used before. Not even on the 4 out of 8 version of it. Well, not something there's standard of.
Yeah, it's used in
Oh, what's
tournaments
the
like
shot?
we just got another shot. Okay, let's okay, so gut check, it feels too early, obviously on A4 of 8, right? But let's see what we have here. So I'm just gonna guess that there's a bug finish. Oh man, I just don't know what you could do for the fourth mission though. So let's see
Maybe a
here.
bug path somewhere. It's our seduction target that ends up getting shot. So let's see if we get a potential get a highlights or the drink take. So not fingerprint. Maybe we assume he had a chaos. He has a print. No, so not. He has a real contact. He has a talk to near Irish a couple. Maybe a blur is done, and then we're going to statues. Either then, I would say maybe wait. If you're going to do, even though it's, I would say wait at least a second eye animation of the inspect. If we just shoot, I think that this early shot confirms to me that Hoffnung saw something from Twin here, and was just thinking, okay, that has to be. I don't need to be super stringent about this shot. I said something, I'm gonna. Unfortunately, this front shot.
Yeah, it must have been for uh, uh, like you're saying, like a break or something like that. Like I think that this wasn't a camping shot because I don't think it feels like that there wouldn't be a case for a 4 mission camping finish, but that rather we were pretty sure about some sort of etiquette break or pathing error, and then we just saw the middle statues dive, and that was like a kind of like a confident shot, right? So unfortunately, that of course is going to reverse onto Hoffnung after this. Pretty strongly. So we got into like a strong zone of telling ourselves a story about that's playing twin, and yeah, backfired for sure. And then yeah, we're back on the back foot after we just got ourselves out of that hole. We unfortunately put ourselves right back into one. Not too deep though, to be sure.
Yeah, but we still need a spy win to get out of it, and let's see if Hoffning's able to do it. Playing as Irish in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right. Well, we are also waiting a little bit on AI control here at the start here. So we don't really mind too much about where we land. We're gonna take control as we go into this path, this conversation. Though, if we're gonna take control, we might as well get a little bit closer to red. We do hit the green test, so it could have been 50. If we got like a 49%, we're talking about maybe 2 flirt range, but of course, not going to happen now. Ambassador, by the way, this might become important later, drops a fingerprint on middle statue, which is, of course, a deadly statue, as we just saw in that last game. So we'll see if that comes into play as we go in here later. Middle statues, especially on A4 of 8, are just incredibly important. So we'll see how that affects the game.
Oh, we pick up a highlight immediately. That's not great, I would say the least, especially for this early on. It's not. Oh, we get a bug on the way out. I didn't even caught that.
Yeah, no, I actually missed that entirely too. The fantastic bug, like high res, you can get these kind of like excellent little bug moments. So not entirely surprised. I was kind of like looking around the rest of the map. So I also respect the fact that it's an early bug. On A4 of 8, I think that's actually really important because like you might be tempted to leave bug for later because you can almost always get in any given 30-second period on high res a reasonable bug where it's like not completely egregiously awful, but like reasonable. The only times that it's not really true is sometimes if they're on the far side of the map, and like at statues, and then snipers watching the far sides of the statues. So excellent on Hoffnung there. I think that's great sequencing, and we'll see how they play it the rest of the time here. We might need to drop over and get that contact before too long though, because contact sneaks up on you on high rise.
Yeah, it definitely sneaks up, and if we're gonna put this bug back, I would say that yeah, maybe if we on Hyras especially, I think transfer is almost seems like a dead. I want to say dead mission. It's super hard to get away with most of the time. you have to have really good distraction for both of them, especially for the blue bookcase.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think transfer on high rise might be the hardest mission
Ooh,
on
might
any map.
just
Um,
Purloin.
we do, but we're not shot yet. This is interesting because if we thought it was us, we would be. We're well. I mean, I guess there's not been a contact. So if we know there's not been statues. Actually, no. Okay, I was gonna say
Banana
this
bread.
might be a good thing, but actually no. It's almost certainly gonna be a shot on us right here. Is it not? Is it not? Okay, all right.
Maybe it wasn't immediate as you were expecting to, but AstatineEffect does correctly shoot Hoffnung, and we're we're on match points, moving into the final venue. Just I want to take a look at that bug again because I don't think that was. It caught me by surprise. I just want to check myself that out. So, a bookcase highlights. I presume this highlight was just to see through the grill grate. Sometimes snipers do that, and I presume afterwards that was just that turned into a bug highlight. Of course, it's always tough to speculate what players are thinking at any given time when watching from replays, but I presume that's what happened. And after that white purloin, the party narrowed down so much that after a contact, we're the only suspect available. And with that, we're gonna head on to the final venue, Ballroom. A little bit of a different ballroom, slightly less time. It's only 3 minutes, but we have a couple of more guests in this, so more obstruction for the sniper and more room for Spy to do things. Let's see if AstatineEffect can secure the win on the Spy side and move on to the semifinals in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Oh, that's Seek. My bad. The arrow was over Alice. I didn't bump check.
Yeah, we do try for a bug in there, but it's super far away, and so we miss it. But there's no pain I think involved for it. I don't think it was a good. We are gonna green swap right at the beginning here. Okay, so what are we gonna do with this? Okay, we're gonna inspect this held statue, and then we probably want to go and then do this. We do get a highlight, of course. Are we gonna delay? We're not delaying. We might return to delay. All right, we're gonna contact almost certainly. Okay, I don't think delay play is gonna be up there.
Banana bread.
Oh yeah, and
Disney is gonna be picking up the statue right now. All right, so do we watch the statue? It is gonna be kind of on screen. It's a little on screen, but we're not watching it really closely.
We're not
kind of pivoting near it.
We're not even getting. Disney's not even highlight for this. We were highlight for.
It's true, and Disney actually leaves really quickly.
Purloin as well.
This is actually really strong.
And a green purloin.
We've green purloined. Disney walked away from that statue really quickly, so if we actually catch this swap, we might presume that Disney swapped and walked away because it was actually really quick after that. Purloin's gone off though, so now that would contradict Disney. And now there's a ton of pressure on Hoff, but I don't think Hoff knows it right now. Because right now, the Purloin might stop us from ever checking statues again, because now what we're doing is we're watching conversations really closely on all the potential Purloin targets.
Now the question is, do you finish inspects here? Or do you try to timer flirt this one out? The minute for left, I think you have time to try to timer flirt this out, but you have the inspect as an option. Here's the second flirt. It is green, 85%. And one flirt away from securing himself to the semifinals. Hoffnung needs to find the shot, but there's been so much chaos with this Purloin, and presumably now he's seen the swap, but he may not know who to shoot.
Yeah, I don't know if he's seen the swap yet. So like, it's a really interesting question. Okay, and actually Disney, importantly, has visited their second set of statues that they have. Where they're at a swappable statue. We might be considering that shot too. So Disney is inspected and swapped. If we do now catch the swap and we know who was there before, but they probably were limited by the Purloin. But the fact that we haven't seen that, so now also Twin. There are 3 people that have touched that statue. 2 of them are done with inspects, and the Spy is the one that's not done with inspects. I think we're just gonna be able to flirt this because I think there's too much contradictory and strange information going on for us to take a clean shot. We go to window, we abandoned it almost immediately, so it would have been a hard tell catch if we had seen it. But I think that we're gonna be just fine. Are we gonna get this flirt off before whitelist? place. It looks like we will. I think we are gonna hit it. I think that's game. It's right at 10 seconds. We'd have to be shooting right at there, and I think Hoff would have to be completely on top of Seek, and I don't think they are. I think that's gonna be set, and that is a very stressful game for both players.
Oh, that was a chaotic game to say the least. An immediate green swap from the AstatineEffect with a couple of inspects here, going on into an immediate contact and the purloin right after. So a lot of things going on to the sniper. Presumably we just missed the swap since we didn't check Disney at the beginning when the swap happened. We're just busy lowlighting people. And we did this purloin whilst in the mist, in the middle, while Hoffnung is lowlighting, and thus not looking for purloin. Since the double agent takes it, and we do see it on the sniper cam. So if we knew that AstatineEffect wasn't the chain, it was almost certainly it's a shot on him. But presumably so much chaos has happened in the first minute that Hoffnung is not sure on what exactly happened, and AstatineEffect is able to flirt out the rest of the game and secure himself a spot in the semi-finals.
Yeah, and the irony is that the the purloin take was the next person, and it was a double agent. Almost always, that's kind of a bad thing, right? You don't want double agent to take it. But like we had these strange layers going on with that. So if double agent is the one that takes the list, there's a slightly higher chance that people skip that in their rotation and they don't check it very quickly. But if they do see it, then of course double agent is knocked out. For the white test is knocked out, you know for sure it's a green test. But the thing is, because it was the next person and it was double agent, it distracted from the swap. If double agent hadn't taken on that one, we might have been able to see the swap and then later catch the purloin. And then I think that chain of logic leads more directly back to Seek than the other path that happened in there. So strange series of events with this like interesting layering of this contact right before the double agent takes, while the swap is happening, while the purloin happens, that you would have to parse out very quickly and carefully. And Astatine able to take advantage of it. Really liked those games. That was a great set.
Yeah, it is a good set, and we're gonna have both of those players are still waiting for the opponents. Operites is gonna be waiting on Firelord Ethan versus Lefty, whether an AstatineEffect is gonna be waiting against yours truly and Dr. Grash, and until that time, but that's gonna be for another day. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching the stream. This has been SpyParty. If you're interested in it and you want to try it, it's available on early access on Steam or on the SpyParty.com website. And if you ever want to buy the game, I highly recommend you join the community on Discord, where we're casting here as well. Discord.gg/SpyParty, and there's regular tournaments. There's everything that you need to know about the game is in here. And players are active and helping out new players in the chat. With that said, thank you very much, Slippy, for joining, even though for the first half we communicated via 2 cups via string. Still enjoyed it.
Absolutely. No, it was always great to cast SpyParty, and and I think honestly by now, I think you're one of the most experienced hosts. I feel like we used to keep track of how many hosts there were like on SpyParty. You have to be up there now, I want to say.
Man, I'll not. I'm standing on the giants like everyone else. I'll not take credit. But yeah, thank you, Slappy, and thank you everyone for watching. We